Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominioncast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Good morning, Nigeria. It's another Monday to start a fresh week, and as always, a fresh set of national questions. I am Samson Balogun.
And I'm Uluwayemi Adelakun. Welcome to Daybreak Live, where we dissect the headlines, challenge the narratives, and dig deep into the politics shaping our nation.
All right, so we'll begin this morning with a story that strikes at the very foundation of our educational system. The Academic Staff Union of our universities, ASU, has raised an alarm over worsening brain drain. According to the union, no fewer than 309 professors have resigned from Nigeria's public universities.
That's a lot. It's a sobering reality when the nation's brightest minds find fulfillment elsewhere. The question becomes, what remains of the intellectual core that sustains our tertiary education? Beyond the numbers, this is a crisis of motivation, of policy, and perhaps of value.
Absolutely. The implications stretch beyond the classrooms. It's about the country's competitiveness, its capacity to innovate, and its ability to nurture the next generation of thinkers and leaders.
Definitely. Still to come, we bring you Daybreak News, the latest development shaping governance, policy, and politics across Nigeria. Then we turn to newspaper headlines and analysis to unpack what's driving the morning's agenda. All
right, and our big story today, we turn to politics. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, finds itself once again under public scrutiny. Our focus today, a new INEC, same old fears. Can Amunkwita redefine credibility in that sector?
That's a good question. Joining that conversation is Honorable Molaja Olawi, a stalwart of the All Progressives Congress. We examine whether leadership renewal within INEC can truly inspire public confidence or whether the ghosts of electoral destroyers continue to linger.
All right, is it about leadership or about the system? We'll get to know that very shortly. Then we'll round off with Trend Watch, spotlighting the social and political stories capturing attention across Nigeria's media landscape.
From classrooms to campaigns, the search for credibility runs through it, all in education, in governance, and leadership.
All right, let's get started this morning. This is Daybreak Live, where insight meets impact. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you, Yemi.
Good morning, Samson. Welcome
on board.
How are you
doing today?
I'm very well. How was your weekend?
It was long,
okay.
But of course I enjoyed it.
All right, all right. I did too.
We had a trip down to Oshobo
Definitely.
For the CEO's daughter's wedding, and
Definitely.
It was absolutely superb.
Oh, that's good.
You needed to be there, but you didn't.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay.
But there's something trending this
Okay.
morning. Let's talk about ASU. And recently, that about 309 professors resigned from public universities. And then you begin to ask yourself this question. What is the impact on a long-term basis? Now, if we continue to have this number of professors, doctors, PhD holders, lecturers leaving the country in search of greener pasture, they feel comfortable somewhere else, not Nigeria. What exactly is the problem?
I think it boils down to the system and then some of their complaints over the years to say that, okay, we need autonomy, universities, the public universities, we need autonomy, we need funds for our research, activities, and then we need increase in salaries. And then the federal government is saying, okay, we've tried to actually, deliver some of what these people are asking for. But also he's saying no. The federal government is yet to respond to us, because I think initially September 28th, ASU gave federal government 2 weeks ultimatum, and that elapsed yesterday. And that's why they will go on strike today. If the federal government,
fail to yield to
exactly. So that's the situation that we have in our hands. These people are complaining of a lot of things. But then what is very shocking to me now is the federal government is saying if ASU should embark on that strike today, then federal government will activate the policy of no work, no pay that happened in 2022 when that strike lasted for about 8 months, and then a lot of lecturers were not paid for those months that they didn't work for. So it's a big one. Federal government is also saying that, okay, ASU is trying to disrupt academic calendars by saying, okay, we want to embark on strike because we've not seen strike in the last 2 years. ASU is saying that, okay, we need to pay our students fees as well. So federal government should also consider us that we are also parents. So it's an issue. A lot of lecturers are complaining about their salary, and that's why about 309 left, to UK, to Saudi Arabia, even to Cameroon. That should tell you that Cameroon is getting it better, or is doing it better than Nigeria when it comes to education. So it's a very sad one. I want to believe that, this strike, the federal government will find a place or find, an avenue to actually speak to the leadership of ASU to look at how they can actually, stop this strike from happening, honestly.
You see, one of the challenges people have failed to talk about is the fact that the federal government sometimes would want to go toe-to-toe with ASU. This is an individual body, of course, as lecturers, and one thing they have been able to do over time is the fact that there has been uniformity in what they say, especially as an association. They have always come out as one to say, look, this is what we want. But oftentimes when these requests are made and tendered to the federal government, there's always a standoff. And the federal government always wants to, sometimes force what they want to do on them, especially ASU, and then a strike will ensue. But the challenge I have now is the fact that this doesn't just affect the federal government, doesn't just affect ASU, it affects the students. And where two elephants actually, fight, the grass suffers. Yeah. And that's the challenge I have. I think there was a time, it was Uni Loring that said, look, we don't want to be a part of this anymore. Oftentimes you have disrupted our academic calendar, and then we are pulling out of ASU. And then they did. So many other universities too might just have this notion. So I feel like at this point, maybe ASU should come down from the high horse and see where they can meet at the middle and say, look, for the sake of the students who will be affected, if this is what we want, and you say you want this, let's meet at the center and see how we can just strike a deal, and then we'll move on from there.
I think it's a very good one, but then as it is now, I'm not sure how she's, as a matter of fact, I read the story where as we're saying, federal government reached out 2 days before this particular ultimatum, elapsed, and that was on Thursday. So as we're saying, it is too late already. The strike will commence today. So I don't know how, but then I think the federal government is very good at this when it comes to speaking to ASU so that they will stop the strike. Yes, because I think this particular strike is to last for 2 weeks. So I want to believe that, the Ministry of Education, they're on this matter, and they're already making calls to ensure that, these people meet, the representatives of ASU and, of course, of the federal government, so that, this strike can be called off. I think that's the best thing now, because a lot of students, some are ready to write their final year exams. And so imagine what these 2 weeks will do to them. A lot of them are just starting out, maybe they're 100 level. So imagine what it will do to their mentality to say, I've just gained admission. What is this ASU strike? We've not seen ASU strike in a long while. I don't think this is the best time for it. And I think the federal government knows what to do on this particular matter to ensure that, let's even forget, okay, 309 professors or maybe lecturers, they left. We cannot even forget about that, because the main reason why they are leaving is still because of all of these things.
Issue.
This 2009 agreement, federal government is saying it was not signed. ASU is saying, okay, it was not signed, but then we spoke about it. We had a conclusion on this matter. So federal government should look into this matter. So I don't want to see a long strike happen again in Nigeria. The previous ones, did a lot, to academic calendars, some persons who were supposed to leave school after 4 years left after 6 years.
6 years, some 5 years plus.
And that's why some parents will say to their kids that avoid courses like law, like medicine, because especially if you are going to a federal university, because they are very sure that ASU strike will actually happen. I don't think it's a good one, honestly.
You see, I am of the opinion that a time will come that so many universities would want to pull out of, that ASU. The reason is not far-fetched.
Yeah.
Academic calendars cannot be continually disrupted. It has affected so many people. I know of some colleagues of mine, friends of mine, who actually suffered in the hands of ASU when it comes to going on strike incessantly. And then there's nothing you can do about it as a student. It is only when you have been called back to school that you come back to your academic year. So this is more or less like a challenge to the education sector. And now the federal government has a responsibility to fix this. And I don't think we should be at a stage where the federal government reaches out 2 days to. At least they had a notification before now. Yeah. And it's not just 2 days notification that ASU gave to them. So I want to believe that they ended it with ends of levity, and this boomeranged. And so far, the federal government reached out. I am still of the opinion that ASU should have, one way or the other, see what they could have done to actually stop the strike. I mean, what they wanted was a dialogue, and the federal government actually stretched their hand to them. I don't think they should have ignored. Do
you think it's because this is not the first time that federal government will try to reach out, and at the end of the day, nothing will happen? Don't you think that's why ASU is saying, okay, we want to stand on this and make sure that, we get all that we want before we actually, stop the strike?
You see, eventually, if you go on strike, all that will happen afterwards is still dialogue. You are still coming back to the table. So as long as they have actually extended that to you, I don't think anyone should, turn that down. So that going on strike now, 2 weeks is off the academic calendar. That's if they go through with this. Off the academic calendar, and that does not just affect the lecturers, because most of them will be sitting at home and then relaxing. The federal government will be running it as a skelter to make sure they fix this, even though if they are not doing it, to the people and they are not saying it. But the truth is, it affects the students more. One thing is, it affects them mentally. They are already used to, some of them are already used to going on strikes like this. So the moment they hear, oh, ASU is going on strike, they are like, oh, they have come again.
Do you know some persons even pray for it? Some students pray for strike. Maybe they are tired of the old school work and they just say, drama. Can we just have 2 weeks, ASU?
2 weeks break.
2 weeks break.
but the truth is, whether you like it or not, that time frame is chalked off your calendar here, and then you still have to come back and get it done. So whatever it is you want to do, it's better you do it when the time is still here than wasting time on frivolous things and then coming back to do it again. So I feel like INEC and the federal government should just come to the table. Look, this is what we want. Federal government, please, for the sake of the students who will be affected, just make sure that you meet at the center and get things done. Because eventually, you are still going to do it. So why take that long time before things are fixed? So it's a responsibility that it's a collective responsibility. ASU should come down from the high horse. The federal government should get things done, and most definitely every stakeholder who are in charge should make sure that this is done as soon as possible. Otherwise, we are still going to have another strike. Because if they come back and say, oh, let's just patch things and then move on from here, or we'll sort you out later, eventually another strike will come. So once and for all, this should be, attended to.
I look forward to that, because, I mean, that's what they've been battling with for years now. And one more thing is, speaking of lecturers leaving, I think the federal government can come in, maybe increase their salary a little bit, because just like I mentioned, some professors are still collecting the same salary they were collecting 10 years.
I don't think it's just about salaries. I don't think it's mainly about salaries.
Okay, there's also the issue of remuneration.
A lot of things are involved. Funding is very important to academics. And take, for example, the last time, I think that was last week, Tuesday, we had a professor, Dr. Victoria from the Lee City University in Ibadan. And she made some claims about lecturers having to fund their own researches by themselves out of the meager salaries they actually earn. And if there is no research, there is no way you can grow as a lecturer, as a doctor, and most definitely as a professor. So these are things they do. And it's not just about them. Result of researches actually help the institution, helps the federal government, and of course helps the lecturers who actually carries it out.
And that's what the foreign countries are doing for these lecturers. That's why they will keep living, because they receive grants, for their research. They receive all this funding, so it is easier for them to work over there, a very serene environment. So why would they leave? So I'm just scared. I don't want to say I'm scared, but then I think I'm scared for the future of education in Nigeria, the quality. Because if the best of lecturers keep leaving, at the end of the day, the students will have to make do with what is available.
Absolutely.
And it's very sad.
I think it was just last week we were talking about primary education, and then we realized the fact that some of the teachers we have now are those who had no option. Let me just do something because I cannot find a job. they are not primarily teachers. And then some of them have found themselves in the education sector. So they will do it like, oh, well, let me just do something for myself. And you see some of them already having side hustles. They have some things they do. Some of them have shops in eyebrow areas, and then once they are done with school, they are already moving there. And some of them just come to class and be like, oh, copy this assignment, do this, do that, and then boom, they are gone. Yeah. So if we don't want that to happen in our tertiary institutions, it is time we actually get that sorted out as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the professionals, people who actually have passion for this job, are leaving the country, what will happen to the education sector, let's say, in the next 5 years?
I don't want to
imagine. I mean, that has been happening to doctors, and they are leaving the country. The health sector is already, in shambles when we talk about the brain drain happening in that area. And this is all now happening to trainers of trainers. I mean, this is a really big one, and I think the federal government should address it as soon as possible.
Yes, I also think the federal government might not be able to attend to all the needs of ASU, like, immediately. So that's why, the function, that's why, they need to, find a way to, sort this out. Okay, you cannot attend to all our needs immediately, yes, but then can you give us that impression that you can do it at the end of the day? Because the federal government cannot...
There should be a timeline.
Yes.
In so years we'll do this, in another 1 or 2 years we'll do this, and then there should be a timeline of, this agreement, yes, we are going to fix it, but we do not have the resources to get it done now.
And at the same time, it should be signed this time around, not like later, federal government come and say, we did not sign any agreement too.
All right, thank you for being a part of the show so far. This is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Now, let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll take weather reports. We'll be back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television. Do well to link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast. And on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on our YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast. Do well to subscribe to that channel and click on the notification button. All right. You can also watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng. Now it's time to take weather report this morning. I will be starting with the ancient metropolitan city of hospitality, Ibadan. And weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius right here in Ibadan this morning. It is expected to rise during the day to 31 degrees Celsius and by night to 22 degrees Celsius. Humidity is expected to be around 94%. Dew point at 22 degrees Celsius. Wind at 3 km per hour in Ibadan today.
All right, let's cross over to Ado, Ogun this morning. Weather feels like 27 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 12%. In the afternoon, 30 degrees Celsius, scattered thunderstorms around 50%. And in the evening, 25 degrees Celsius, showers around 39%. Overnight, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 12%. And wind is 3 km per hour, dew point 22. That's where we are for Ado, Ogun this morning.
Right, moving on, let's go to the Center of Excellence, Lagos this morning. Weather currently feels like 24 degrees Celsius in Lagos. And later, it is misty this morning. And later in the morning, it will rise to 29 degrees Celsius. And by night, 25 degrees Celsius in Lagos. humidity at 90%, wind speed at 3 km per hour, and dew point at 23 degrees Celsius in Lagos today.
Well, let's cross over to Ondo West this morning. Weather feels like 26 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 9%. Afternoon, 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 14%. And in the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 24%. Overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 17%. Wind is 3 km per hour, dew point 21. That's what we have for Ondo West this morning.
All right, moving on to the south-south, Port Harcourt to be precise this morning in Rivers State. Weather currently feels cloudy right there at 20 degrees Celsius in Rivers State. And by day, it will rise to 29 degrees Celsius at night at 20 degrees Celsius. Wind speed is expected to be around 3 km per hour. Dew point at 20 degrees Celsius. Humidity 100% right there in Port Harcourt, Rivers State.
All right, this morning, let's cross over to FCT. We'll say this morning, weather feels like 22 degrees Celsius. Wind is around 3 km per hour. Dew point around 21. Humidity is around 96%. That's what we have for FCT Nigeria this morning.
All right, moving on to Kaduna this morning in Kaduna State. Weather currently feels like 21 degrees Celsius in Kaduna. Later in the morning, it will rise to 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy. And by afternoon, it will rise to 24 degrees Celsius. And by night, 26 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy right there in Kaduna today. Wind speed expected to be around 3 km per hour. Dew point at 21 degrees Celsius and humidity at 98% right there in Kaduna today. I think that will be all we'll be taking over the report this morning. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll take the news. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Good morning. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, in collaboration with state government and development partners, has intensified effort to vaccinate 106 million Nigerian children against vaccine-preventable diseases. The nationwide initiative aims to raise awareness for the ongoing integrated measles, rubella, polio, and human papillomavirus vaccination campaign, which will run from October 2025 to February 2026. This large-scale vaccination exercise reflects the agency's commitment to ensuring that no child is left unprotected while strengthening partnerships between national and state health authorities to achieve improved health outcomes for children across the country. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has called for the support of Nigerian governors to ensure the successful completion of the ongoing review of the 1999 Constitution. Kalu appealed when he led members of the House Committee on Constitution Review on a courtesy visit to Enugu State Governor Peter Mba. He expressed appreciation to Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, for their continued support and engagement in the constitutional review process, describing their collaboration as crucial to achieving meaningful reform. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has declared a 2-week total and comprehensive warning strike across all public universities in Nigeria. The announcement was made by the National President of the Union, Professor Chris Piwuna, at a press briefing in Abuja at the University of Abuja. The latest standoff between the university lecturers and the federal government comes despite ongoing negotiations aimed at averting another round of industrial action in the nation's tertiary institutions. The Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center has intensified effort to combat the growing menace of online crimes with a one-day cybercrime awareness campaign held in Abuja, aimed at promoting digital literacy, responsible online behavior, and public resilience against cyber threat. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Benjamin Unday. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, represented by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department, Sadiq Abubakar, reiterated the Force's commitment to ensuring a safe digital environment for Nigerians. The MPF NCCC was established as a specialized unit under the Nigeria Police Force to combat the growing wave of cyber-enabled crimes in the country, including online fraud, identity theft, financial scams, and cyberbullying. In business, the Nigeria Labour Congress President NLC, Comrade Joe Adayo, has called for a tax on the profits of technology giant and automated industries to fund comprehensive retraining and upskilling. For workers facing displacement in the era of artificial intelligence, AI, speaking at the 2025 conference of the Labour Writers Association of Nigeria in Ibadan, Adayo warned that while AI is often presented as a marker of efficiency and progress, it is being deployed by corporations to deepen worker exploitation, erode rights, and increase inequality. He cautioned that without safeguards, AI would reshape labor relations in ways that weaken collective bargaining, undermine unionization, and create a digitally disposed underclass. In sports this morning, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have arrived safely in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Earlier, the team made an emergency stop in Luanda, Angola, after experiencing an immediate technical issue following their 2-1 victory over Lesotho. According to a statement from the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, the aircraft was forced to land due to a cracked windscreen, which caused the in-flight scare with their arrival in Uyo. The Super Eagles will focus on their preparations for their crucial World Cup qualifying clash against the Benin Republic as they seek maximum point to boost their qualification hopes for next year's tournament. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and X at Dominion Cast. That's the break news. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun saying thank you for watching and good morning.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram at Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Newspaper Headlines Analysis. And of course, I'm not alone in the studio. I have with me Victor Akinle, a political scientist and, of course, public affairs analyst. Welcome on board this morning.
Good morning, Yemi. Thank you.
All right. Let's start from this particular newspaper. I have Daily Global with me, and I have the banner headline that says, "You can't fight drugs and free traffickers." That's coming from ADC. That's reacting to some of the things that the president is doing in terms of pardon for some persons. Another headline this morning saying, "Strike, federal government threatens ASU with no work, no pay." Whips of innovation, our first bank turned Lagos into Africa's electric playground. Another headline is saying, "Can we pause and ponder Anambra people and Governor Soludo?" I have another headline that says, "Magboro ACDC chairman charges committees on performance." Let's cross over to Salient Times. I have this headline that says, "Federal government threatens no work, no pay as ASU declares 2-week warning strike." Don't forget, before this, ASU gave federal government 2 weeks ultimatum that elapsed yesterday. And that started on September 28th. But then ASU is saying, even regardless of the fact that federal government reached out to us on Thursday, we are going to embark on this strike. Away from that, I have a headline that says, 92-year-old Biya poised for 8th term as Cameroon holds presidential poll. This is 2025, and a lot of Nigerians are so surprised about the fact that this man who is 92 years old is still contesting to be president. Pastor Bakari clarifies a discipline crash, comment denies mocking victims. Another headline saying, "Presidency not yet Southeastern in 2027. That's coming from Umai. And when I read the story, it's trying to say that, okay, someone from Southwest is in power currently. And of course, he's trying to run for the second term. Nigerians and of course, the people of Southeast should allow him run for the second term before they can actually think of becoming or choosing someone, to become president of Nigeria." I'll have my analyst, speak on that very shortly. Another headline is saying, "Woman pours boiling oil on husband's face, sprinkles wounds with chili powder." That's quite serious. Let's cross over from Salient Times this morning to Amebo newspaper. I have this headline still talking about ASU. ASU makes good on their threat, said to begin strike today as federal government reiterates no work, no pay. Technology can't end electoral falls. That's coming from former INEC chair Yakubu. Young Nigerians are losing hope in the future of the country. Atiku expresses concern. Another line is saying, "Oppose Nnamdi Kanu's detention, join October 20 protests. IPOB lawyers to Nigeria." AGC slams Tinubu over pardon for drug traffickers, calls it national disgrace. Allow me to turn to my analyst this morning to help me make sense of the top stories that we have across the dailies. Let's start with this one that says, AGC slams Tinubu over pardon for drug traffickers, calls it national disgrace. And of course, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar also says something to say that why is the president, just trying to pardon some persons, who committed grave, offenses in the past, and then we still have the likes of Nnamdi Kanu, still in the custody. What do you make of all of this? Because a lot of persons are saying, okay, the families of these people will be happy to say that, okay, our father's name or our grandfather's name has been cleared along the line. I think I recall that Abat Macaulay was convicted twice, by the British Council, first in 1913 and later afterwards. He's been granted, pardon as well. So all of this, do you see it as a national disgrace, just like how ADC, is actually trying to paint it?
Thank you.
Okay.
Firstly, yes, it is a national disgrace.
In what sense?
They are criminals. They are criminals. They should face the wrath of law.
Okay.
They are criminals. They should get the right judgments that they deserve. However, like I always say, there would always be more to the story. So the question is, why would the president pardon them? Okay. Maybe, for instance, Abat Macaulay. Abat Macaulay played a vital role in the years back. We will not forget Abat Macaulay in the story of Nigeria, in the history of Nigeria. So maybe because of that kind of thing, you could say, well, let's weigh vis-a-vis their crime and their productivity to the nation. Let's pardon them. They've done well for the nation. My own thoughts.
Okay.
So maybe the president is looking at, they are criminals, yes, but then have they been productive for the nation? What good have they added to the nation? Because of this reason, let's pardon them. And again, they might come from a very, very good family. Now, we will not want to destroy a good family because of one bad sheep. Let's pardon them. I think so. However, ADC coming out to say, no, it's a crime, they should face the wrath of law. Politics now playing out.
Okay, let's talk about one more thing, because some drug traffickers...
Sorry.
Okay.
Because why I said politics now playing out is because they might want to use it against him filing for 2027 elections. This man, he must be a drug addict, he must be a drug person, he must, for him to be granting criminals, I mean drug criminals pardon, that means he's one of them. So Nigerians, do you want to vote for a drug person? You know that kind of agenda. So that's just what ADC is doing. The presidency or the president is not done.
Okay, let's talk about drug traffickers, especially those that were pardoned. Will this not reduce the effectiveness of the NDLEA? Because if these people are trying to bring those people to book when they are caught, and then the president will come and grant them pardon, what do you make of this?
I don't think it's a recurrent situation. And this is just the first time I've seen this kind of news in recent times.
But can you not encourage some certain people?
Well, but then let's see where the NDLEA will now sit down and think deep. Why did the presidency pardon these ones? Then moving forward, what charge they will put on these ones? All right. Going back to what I said earlier, the ones that were pardoned might have contributed profitably to the nation. These ones have they? If not, then let them face the wrath of law.
All right, let's talk about another headline. I have this one that says, technology can't end electoral flaws. That's coming from the former INEC chair, Yakubu, that have just stepped down. He also said that, the recent court cases or the court cases that happened after the 2023 general elections is part of the reason why INEC is finding it difficult to function properly. He also said technology cannot solve some problems. So what then can solve the problem of the electoral reforms in Nigeria?
So we bring technology in when election is about to start. Are you getting? Let me repeat that.
Okay.
When we are planning to go into the polls, 2027 now is the next polls, and then say 2026 moving into 2027, we now start bringing technologies as much as we can. So you don't bring food to a dying dog.
Okay.
You ensure the dog doesn't die yet before you now start. So what I think what he's trying to say there is, you are bringing, what's this English now? It's escaped me. So, well, fine, I will remember as we go. So what he's trying to say is that let us first make it fair and credible, even before getting to the polls. So when we get to the polls, we maintain what we've created, all right? So we have a good election already. So now, when we now finish elections, we are done with voting and all that, you now want to bring in technology that we didn't bring on from initial stage. It's not going to work. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So the thing is, like he said, let it first be free and fair. Let it first be credible from scratch. Let us first have the good candidates and everything right before going to the polls. So when we now get to the polls, we don't. In filmmaking, there's something we say, don't fix it at post. Meaning, don't fix it at post-production. So ensure you have all your actors, all your everything, your props, your costume, everything. Let them be ready before you go to sets. So when you make mistakes at sets, don't always believe that every mistake can be corrected at post-production. I feel that's what he's trying to say.
Okay, so was beavers a good option for Nigeria? Because billions of naira was spent on the machines.
If it was productive, well. If it wasn't productive, then it was a waste of money, waste of time, waste of resources, waste of everything. Did it work? No. In very large places, it didn't work. So it was a waste of resources. So it won't work. Let's find another way.
Okay, let's talk about another.
Sorry, at least Nigeria has the money. Let's
you think we have the money, but we keep borrowing?
Nigeria, borrow to do a good election.
Okay.
Abi, if you are borrowing money to do what? For whatever it is. So now, borrow it now to do a good election. At least conduct a good election for the first time, even if you have to borrow.
You think Nigeria has never conducted a good election?
Never conducted a good election.
What about the 1993 elections?
That was the only good one. There wasn't technology then. After then, there hasn't been any good election from 1999 till date.
Okay. Away from that, let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu very briefly. I have a headline that says, oppose Nnamdi Kanu's detention, join October 20 protests. That's coming from IPOB, talking to lawyers, IPOB lawyers, talking to Nigerians to say, okay, join this protest, because a few days ago, Showore said that he actually called on the likes of Atiku, Peter Obi, and then governors of the Southeast to say, let's come together, let's march down to Aso Rock to demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Now, IPOB lawyers are also telling Nigerians, join this protest so that Nnamdi Kanu can be released. Is this the best way to go about this whole thing? Because I believe that the case is in court, and then the court will still, sit on this matter, before he can be released, or maybe still stay, in the custody. Really, is this protest a very good one? Will it yield results
So
at the end of the day?
The question is, people should leave their job, leave their business, leave their life, and then march to Abuja. Nobody will do that. No Nigerian will do that.
Are you sure about that?
The only protest, I feel the only protest that is successful in recent time was COVID-19 at Lekki, when those guys protested at Lekki against EndSARS. It was successful because a lot of people, there was global lockdown, so people were not going to work, so they had time. Since then, before then, have you ever seen a successful protest? People will go to work, people will mind their life, mind their business, people will do their own thing. I do not completely believe it is a smart idea. Nigerians, then again, what happened at Lekki 2020 is a very big discouragement for any protest to happen again in Nigeria. So, an average Nigerian would want to go and say, did you remember 2020? Sit down in your house. I think this, instead of IPOB lawyers, instead of calling Nigerians to join their protest, I think they should go into a better dialogue with federal governments. Now, there are some statesmen that can speak to the presidency, and the presidency will grant them ears. So if you meet these people, discuss with them, show your grief, show your pains, and let this elderly statesmen speak with the government. Obasanjo is one of them. Obasanjo has been silent on this man's case for a long time. I hope you know. Obasanjo is one of them. Babangida is one of them, and some other statesmen. Even Lekan Alabi, am I right? There's this Afenifere spokesman. He used to be the secretary of the Afenifere, something. I think his name is elderly something. I'm not sure if it's Lekan Alabi, but elderly something. These are elderly statesmen involved there.
Even Pa Adebanjo, I don't think he's mentioned anything about this case.
Yes, Pa Adebanjo has been very, very silent about this case. So meet them. Forget the tribe now. Excuse me, I wanted these Americans. Yorubas, Igbos, Hausas, Middle Belt people, meet these elderly statesmen. Talk to them. I mean the IPOB layers and other stakeholders in the IPOB thing. Talk to them. Now, let this elderly statesmen call the presidency to order. Years ago, very long time ago, when Babangida was in power and he wasn't doing well, the old women, they went naked and they trekked to the federal government's office. Babangida adjusted. So,
I don't think that's a good option in 2025.
I didn't say no. Okay, I didn't say the woman. I didn't say women should go.
I understand
naked.
you. Yes.
When a sitting president, saw women that are naked, he boiled himself brain. I'm not saying these old people should go naked.
Yes.
And I'm not saying women should go naked. Yes. Neither am I saying anybody should go naked.
Yes.
I only cited that as an example. Meaning, when the presidency or the stakeholders see elderly people leave their houses and come and discuss about a matter that is of big pain to some set of the nation, set of the citizens, I believe the presidency will sit up.
In a sense, I think you're saying the other statement can actually handle this matter rather than allow the young ones to march down to Aso Rock.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at for how that will play out. I just want to believe that the people that you're talking about are willing to speak on this matter.
I don't think they are willing because many of them have been silent. But then, if you approach them properly, like a well-cultured African man, a well-cultured Nigerian, they would listen.
All right. Away from that, let's talk about these two governors. There are speculations that they might defect to the APC. I'm talking about Governor Peter Mbah, Enugu State, and Governor Diodiri of Bayelsa State. And of course, their supporters are saying wherever the governor is going, we're going to follow him. Then this will affect PDP. If two PDP governors should leave PDP this time, what's the effect that we should expect? I mean, PDP. For 2027 elections, definitely.
Yeah, it's still a major concern and a big question that what is PDP still doing till now. If that guy Mbah deflects, we don't even have. You remember that APC didn't have Southeast, much of Southeast in the last election. So if this happens, know that there has been some background works that will make Southeast follow what is going on. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And the other one, Bayelsa, South. I don't think, yes, they didn't. APC didn't pull well at Bayelsa. Now, if Bayelsa also joins PDP, joins APC, PDP should consider those sides zero already.
Really?
Yes.
But then the platform of PDP brought these people in.
Their fans or their supporters already said, anywhere you go, I go. So it's not debatable. It's just it's simple. I mean, what's the population of Bayelsa in itself? So what are we talking about? Forget it. The PDP is gone there completely. So whoever PDP is just gone. Let's leave it. I believe PDP
but I want to
is just
believe
gone.
they'll pull off a candidate to contest for 2027 elections.
Sorry,
Regardless,
come again?
I said I want to believe that they will
PDP,
come up
right?
with a candidate, yes, for 2027 elections.
Okay,
regardless
let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way. From Bayelsa, let's say they, I don't know. I just want to, let's do a paperwork.
Okay.
If they brought Obi, let's say they brought Obi, Enugu has gone to PDP, to APC. Okay, maybe you could pull a little. It's from Imo, yeah, not too far. Maybe you get some little.
Obi? Do you mean Obi?
If PDP brings Obi as their flag bearer, maybe I'm just guessing. Let's do paperwork. You could try pull a little. You won't beat APC. From Bayelsa, maybe. I don't think it will beat APC. Now, if they bring Jonathan Goodluck, maybe paperwork again. Jonathan Goodluck may win a state.
He's from Bayelsa, but Obi is from Anambra.
Obi is from Anambra.
Okay.
Bayelsa would maybe he might just win a state because it's a state. He will win a state Bayelsa, but will he win Enugu? So if Obi win Enugu? Maybe slightly, but will he win Bayelsa? That's the thing. And these are the only two guys that PDP can bring that they can pull anything. If they don't bring either of these two guys, they can't pull nothing.
I don't think Jonathan is willing to contest, though, but then it boils down to speculations. He might decide to contest at the end of the day.
I just said, I'm just thinking if he doesn't come and they didn't bring Obi, so who would they bring then? Maybe they should bring me.
No, let's expect a surprise, a huge surprise from PDP.
What? See, you can't go and bring a new face to come and contest on Nigerian presidential election. Who do you want to bring? Maybe you got to bring Padeba Joshua.
No, I don't think PDP will.
Okay, so who would you bring?
But I don't know.
You must bring somebody that has.
They have a national convention coming up, so I think that might give us an information about who is going to be the flag bearer.
I believe you completely. But whatever it is they are doing, they should just try to make it realistic.
All right. Good luck to PDP and, of course, other political parties. Let's talk about ASU very quickly. So, federal government is saying if ASU should embark on the strike, we are going to activate the policy of no work, no pay. And that was what happened in 2022 when the strike lasted for about 8 months. So, if this should happen again, what's the fate of the university lecturers? Because they are saying they give the federal government 2 weeks ultimatum that last yesterday, and that's why they will
for
start
increase of salary. Yeah,
no, not just salary, funds for research, remuneration, autonomy for the universities, and many other things. So these are the demands of ASU. The federal government is saying we've tried to sort some of these demands, but then ASU should be patient. ASU is saying we also have things to cater for. Can the federal government listen to us and, of course, give us all that we are asking for? So I don't think an agreement was reached, and that's why ASU is going on strike. Or I don't know whether the strike has already started in the public universities. Yes, today. So what do you make of that? Because, do you think this is the best way the federal government can actually handle this, to say we are going to activate the policy of no work, no pay?
Both are not wrong. The federal government is not wrong, ASU is not wrong. So here's my take. Communication. Communication is still it. Like you said, they probably haven't have a solid agreement. There's a way you can strike and still be working. Just smart. In the Western world, remember in the UK then, when they wanted to, was it UK or China? I think UK adopted China's policy or China adopted UK's policy. When they were striking, they would put a black band on their arm. They will tie a black band on their arm. Okay. It shows they are protesting. It shows we are expressing our grief. We are expressing our pain. We are not happy with what the government is doing to us, but they go to work.
Okay.
So government sees black band in the arms of his people or her people. He knows these people are protesting. So meaning they are not ready to work. Okay. We are working, but then we are still expressing our pain. Something like that could be adopted. Maybe not banned. Maybe something more innovative. Okay, we should close by 2. We'll close by 12. We should close by 4. We'll close by 2.
Like a partial strike.
Yes. We are ready to work, all right? But then we want these things too. So while we are working, we are expressing our pains. So both strong heads now, federal government and ASU, should consider the students. So, okay, so students come to class, you should take 4 lectures in a day, but because we have partial strike, you mentioned, you do 2 lectures and you go home. Or we will do 2 days in 5 days and everybody goes home. So here's the thing. We don't have money or we don't have resources to carry on researches, to carry on this, to carry on that and all that and all that. Fine, good excuse. Those things that you can't carry on because you don't have resources, drop them. The ones you can do with resources, go ahead. So when federal government now says, why are you not being productive in this part? Sir, you didn't resource us, sir. So we use the little resources we have to do what we can do.
But these resources you're talking about, even the salary, some lecturers are saying they can barely feed properly with the salary. So are you talking about the same salary?
They should come twice a week instead of 5 times a week. So they can use the remaining 3 days to look for another side income. It's that simple. I'm not supporting either of them. Federal government does not have money at the moment. Unless ASU wants federal government to go and borrow money for them.
Recently you said federal government has money now. I think 3 minutes ago you were saying federal government has money.
Federal government has money to borrow.
Okay. Okay. I just hope that at the end of the day, even if they work twice a week, it's still going to affect the calendar. Because Nigerian universities have not seen strike in the last 2 years. Honestly.
The thing is, my opinion, my candid opinion, I pity the students. I only pity the students in all of this. So I feel they should just find a common ground. Okay, federal government, this is what we have. You see, one bad thing I don't like about the sitting government is that they are not, what's the English now? They are not accountable. They are not accountable. They are not, there's this other word, they are not transparent.
Okay.
Come out plain. Okay, ASU, we do not have those resources. We have been able to do this. We don't have this. Can you please do it on our behalf? And when we are fine, we refund you. Or better still, what can we do together? Let's consider these students. We can't keep them at home, all right? We understand that you want to work. If you don't work, you can't get paid. If you don't get paid, you can't feed. So let's have a common ground. This is what we are proposing. ASU, would you accept? Okay, we too, let's go and think. Okay, this is what we'll propose. Let's have a common ground. It's just simple. Communication will settle this.
That's very important. Communication. You know, I think the both parties should find a way to sort this out for the sake of the student. I think it's a fine place to leave it this morning. A big thanks to you, Victor Akilane, public affairs analyst and political scientist. And in addition, an entrepreneur. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning. Let's be hopeful. Let's be optimistic that the strike will not continue, or maybe today they find a way to resolve it. A big thanks to you for joining the segment. Please stay with us. Big story will come up soon. Samson Balogun is standing by. We'll be right back.
live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Hello, good morning and welcome to The Big Story, your weekly deep dive into issues shaping our nation's democracy. Today we turn our attention to Nigeria's electoral empire. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and its new helmsman, Professor Joash Ojo Amukwita-San. His appointment comes at a time when Nigerians are still grappling with the trust issues surrounding electoral processes. Questions about transparency, neutrality, and the true power of the ballot. But with a new chairman comes renewed expectations. Can Professor Amukwita chart a new course for credibility, or will INEC remain caught in the web of public skepticism? Samson Balogun is my name. Thank you for joining us. To understand the weight of this moment, we must look back. Over the years, INEC has had leaders whose tenures left distinct impressions, some inspiring, others uncontroversial. Professor Ataridu Jega, appointed in 2010, is often remembered for introducing technological innovations like the card reader and for overseeing what many called Nigeria's freest and fairest election in 2015. His era earned respect, though not without its critics who accused the Commission of regional inconsistencies. Then came Professor Mahmood Yakubu, whose leadership saw the introduction of the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System, BVAS, and the INEC Results Viewing Portal, IREV. While these innovations promised transparency, the 2023 general elections reopened old wounds of distrust, with observers citing irregularities and delays in result uploads. And before them, Professor Maurice Iwu presided over one of the most criticized elections in 2007, a process former President Umar Musa Yar'Adua himself admitted was flawed. So here we are again as regards this. A new face, a familiar fear. Nigerians are asking, can Professor Amukwita rebuild the moral foundation of INEC and restore confidence in Nigeria's electoral integrity? Good morning once again. thank you for joining us. To help us unpack this very big topic this morning is an APC chieftain. Of course, he's here with me in the studio. Honorable Omolaja Olawi, good to have you in the studio.
Good morning to you, Samson. Nice, very delighted to for you having me here today. And good morning to you, viewer at home. Thanks for listening to us and watching us.
Okay, you had, the forward, how we came in on the show this morning. We went back in history, at least the last three INEC chairmen. We spoke about Morrissey, spoke about Atairu Jega, and most definitely the immediate past INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu. They all had different things their tenures will be remembered for. Mahmoud Yakubu spearheaded IREV, brought about beavers by modal voter registration, of course, voters card. And then when you go back in history again, you talk about Atairu Jega. These are people who brought technological innovations. But then, while one left with praise from people, and not minding the fact that some other people also criticized him, and some other people, they left, and then they were criticized over and over again. Your complete overview of electoral system in Nigeria since inception, since you know of, and now, where are we?
Oh, thank you very much. It is so unfortunate that people talk about individual, they are not talking about the institution. Because without the institution, there is no individual that can be able to make much impact unless the institution is well fortified to be able to face all the challenges that is coming to that institution. Now, thank God, there is a progressivity in our electoral system, and it has been progressing all the time. An institution is open to a fault. What do we do as Nigerians to rectify it? And we have never been shy away. We have been rectifying the electoral system and their processes as well. So in Nigeria, it has been a development so far, according to what I know. Because some few years ago, like you are talking about when introduction of all these capturings was introduced, it was introduced shamboingly by President then Baba Obasanjo. And it wasn't, there is no reflection in our electoral system. That is why it was introduced in 2005, 2006. And with that, despite the fact that it was capturing, it was not this traditional using of voters' card to vote. Still, it was fought throughout in 2006, 2007. So since then, when late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua came and he saw this fault, he made sure that he constituted a kind of panel that is going to be able to go around Nigeria and try as much as possible, hear from people and know how to fix all these challenges. Since then, we have been having those developments when you are talking about our electoral system.
Okay, now let's talk about the new INEC chairman. His nomination and eventual appointment has been greeted with mixed feelings, mixed reactions from different quarters. Now, what kind of reformer should he become to introduce trust to the people once again when we talk about INEC?
The mixed feelings is well expected. Nigerians we have been always that particular about trust all the time. Even when Angel is brought to be able to head INEC, they are still going to be able to vote him or her in one way or the other. So that is well expected. But now, all this depend on Nigerians, all still depend on our legislator, how they can be able to make sure they fortify that electoral system that is going to be able to stand the test of today. And again, for any other INEC, there is no reformation an INEC is going to take without inviting all the parties in Nigeria. And they are going to be a contributor to it. Because with none of them, if they decide not to agree with INEC chair, it's not going to be able to partake it. It's quite unfortunate when all those things that has been introduced and contributed by different parties, they are always renegade on it all the time. They always try to find one fault or the other. So that is what we are facing in Nigeria. It is not about Amputa coming to aid INEC. It's about the people themselves. Are they ready to trust the system? Are they ready to be a contributor to the system? Are they ready to be able to be very truthful in their analysis if things doesn't favor them? That is what we have on the table. It is not about any other thing. When you are talking about United States of America that has the very largest population, about 500 million people, we still have some challenges when it comes to the electoral system. We have seen a situation whereby, despite the fact that it is well captured, the technology was so, fortified. Still, there are sometimes they went and can't buy manual system when they think there are some discrepancies. Is in the kind of district or the other. We saw what happened during the time of Agor and what's it called? The so-called former president of United States. I've forgotten the name. There was problem there, and they have to go and use manual system to count this to count vote. And the same thing happened during the time of President Trump against Biden. It was done as well in some country and in some states as well. So people have the right to challenge the INEC system, but at the end of the day, our court system really permitted you to be able to prove and tender all evidence you have in order to challenge any electoral system.
All right, there is one of the perceptions that the institution, INEC, for example, has not been able to shed in recent times is the fact that most Nigerians believe that change in leadership does not necessarily translate to change in attitude for INEC. Now, people still think that regardless of who comes on board, they still do not trust the institution. Now, what is the way forward? If Amukuton's here, what are the necessary things he has to put in place? And most definitely, what role does the federal government have to play in all of this?
Thank you. The INEC has no problem, to me.
Is the institution faulty?
The institution is never faulty. It is the people that are not ready to trust anybody.
The Nigerians?
The Nigerians we're talking about. I'm not saying
Are you saying Nigerians are the fault?
I'm telling you, our politicians are always the fault most of the time. And whatever the media are spreading or they are disseminating to the people as well. Take for instance, you are talking about 2023 elections. When Labour Party went to court, they even didn't challenge that there was rigging. All they were saying, it was because when they are being, they were saying that there is discrepancies and anomalies. And again, the court expect them to bring those evidence to court of law. Now, for a political party, you must be represented in all polling units throughout Nigeria. When your people are there, all you have to do is coordinate. Your people should be able to give you the feedback that happen in different polling units. But a situation that a particular party has even about probably 40% or 45%
representations across polling units.
And you are still saying that the election is faulty. How did that come to be? That's the problem. And you have seen those candidates who has been the beneficiary of the theft of electoral system in the past. Now they are always crying about they are being cheated or not.
Now, let me bring your attention to this. Recently, former Minister of Interior, former Governor of Osun State came out and said, look, he is a beneficiary of electoral anomalies in the country, but things have to change. That was Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola. He made that claim just a few days ago and said, look, I'm a beneficiary of this, but this has to change. And he was commenting that over the appointment of Amukuta as the substantive INEC chairman and said, look, yes, you have come on board. There are changes you have to make.
Thank you very much. He hasn't told us the kind of changes that he expected. He has a chance to be able to go to Senate or any other place to be a reformer. He has been interior affairs minister without any change in that ministry compared to what is happening right now. We have seen a lot of Daybreak when he was there. Now, a lot of them are always trying foul. We are known in the past. We are so many times we have seen a strange names being put in our data system. You are talking about when you are talking about election, you are going to see the register. I mean, abnormal name in the register. You have seen Mike Tyson being registered as one of the voters. You have seen Michael Jackson. You have seen Bobby Brown. You have seen a lot of funny names being injected into our election. I mean, those people who are going to vote.
And whose fault is that? Now,
it is not, again, because you have to represent. Now, you are talking about the data system. Before the last election, before 2023, if your card, the card reader cannot be able to read your tongue, you are going to feel a kind of form. And you have seen that with this, a lot of election has been rigged in so many instances. So now, they are going to capture your name and your face or your tongue. If your tongue is not seen and your face is not seen, that means you are not going to vote. We have seen a situation that some states producing, and they can be able to produce about 1 million votes. But in 2023, a lot of it come down to probably about 300 or 400,000 votes. That's for you to know that in the past, we are having those challenges. But now, things are getting better. We are going to get better with time. It is not about a day. They are faulting the INEC for the fact that they are not being able to impute all those elections immediately from world level. And this, we all know that with the technology system that is going on in the world, those kind of things can be hacked at any time. And we must be very careful when we are doing things. In the last election, we have seen in a place like Osun State, whereby before that was 2022, in probably Olorun Shogbo or Olorun Da local government around Oshogbo, about 2,000 votes was awarded to APC, and it was deducted. When they are tabling it, when they are coordinating and they are all the vote, and they saw the fault, and it was instantly deducted in the glass of the world. For you to see that the manual system, the way we are doing it, is one of the best, and now we are getting better. I am not saying there is no skirmish, there is no problem in our election system, but those are the things we have to introduce. It is not that it is totally faulty.
Right. Now, let's talk about the new INEC chairman. If you look at his profile, he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. Do you think his background in law will help him strengthen that unit? I mean, INEC, talking about INEC.
I believe so. I believe so. And he's going to be able to introduce something.
You saw his profile.
I saw his profile.
Is he capable?
I believe he's capable because our election is about...
You have seen people who are capable get into the system and then they get swept away by the waters.
Now we are now talking about... Now that we are not talking about the law that's being used to be able to overturn the ills in our election.
Should we expect changes in the electoral balance?
I am expecting a lot of changes because I am telling you, I expect a lot of changes right from the party level. If you must be able to have a good and a sound electoral system, it must stand by the party level, because the way we elect and the way we bring out all our candidates is faulty. And the former Speaker of House of Rep really want to introduce direct primary. That is what former Gbajabi Amila, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, House of Representatives, want to do. If we can do this, those are the areas we must, any INEC chairman that is coming must be able to do an input through a National Assembly to be able to make some reform when you are talking about within the political party. Now, when you are talking about the INEC, it's always about people's fault. Some people are still in the ballot boxes. Are you expecting INEC that is going to be arresting them? Is the INEC going to be prosecuting them?
0.9 million. Going down to Benue, all right? Okay, let me take Delta first. Delta had over 1.2 million in 2015, and by 2019, they had 815,000. Benue had 1.1 million in the year 2015, and by 2019, they had 768,000 votes. Now, the question I'm about to ask you is that, is it as a result of voter apathy or correction in the electoral system and malpractices?
It is about, the correction is about malpractice.
Don't you think people decided not to come out to vote?
No, it's not about apathy. People are always eager to vote all the time because you are going to see the distortion on the public places. That is how people have been inspired to vote when there is election. I am going to say to you that, are we not increasing in population? We are. Are we not having, unlike 2022, before the election, you can see that a lot of youth registered more than expected. And that's supposed to reflect in the election. But for the fact that before, a lot of anomalies is being done during the election, and these are reduced drastically well. That is why you see those reduction. It is not about people's voters apathy. Voters apathy has never, it wasn't the problem in the general election, during the general election. It might be during the by-election, but general election is always, people always coming, turning out on people.
But very quickly, let me say this. People have complained about people not coming out during elections, and that has been there for a long time. So I want to know where that claim that voter apathy is not a problem in the country is coming from. If you check the percentage of people who registered as voters and the number of people that has actually come out to vote, then you question what is happening in the country. Let me take, for example, in the year 2015, 68 million and registered voters. We had over 68 million voters, and voter turnout was around 43%. And in 2019, we had 84 million registered voters. The voter turnout was at 34.7%. And in 2023, we had 93 million voters, over 93 million voters, and it was just 26.7% people that came out to vote. And you said there is no voter apathy in the country.
Thank you. Which has not been introduced in Nigeria. You are talking about some elderly who are probably about 70 years old, or probably because of health challenges, they cannot be able to vote. In a place like United States of America, you can do your voting by post. And they knew sometimes people felt discomforted during the election. They are going to vote probably about 2 weeks before election. It's been done. It's never been introduced in Nigeria. You must know that. And again, a lot of people change their addresses as well. There are some people who always take in voters card because they want to open a bank account or do it for identification purpose. No doubt about that. But when we are doing now, the INEC have introduced a kind of a system whereby if you have in a polling unit, you must not have probably more than 5 according to different polling units at that particular place, in order not to discomfort people. The challenge people faces during the election is being systematically taken head on by INEC. That is why they introduce a polling unit. Probably it shouldn't be more than 500 people, and you will see a polling unit being divided into probably 5-6 different polling units at the same time, and it's going to be easy for people to vote. These are the things they have to change, because people cannot just go out in the scorching sun and suffering themselves just because of vote. Those are the challenges the voters have.
Are you clamoring for changes in the voting structure in the country?
No. They are facing it all headlong. Who knows what is going to happen 2027? Like 2023, that is what it was done, and people are able still. People find it difficult because they are still queued under the scorched sun. Very difficult for them. They should be able to find a way. Probably we can vote before election. Probably we can vote online. A kind of thing that is going to help people to vote, to find it easy to vote. That is what they should be able to introduce.
Now, turnout has steadily declined over each cycle of election in the country, from 43.7% in 2015 to 34.7% in 2019 and 26.7% in 2023. Now, meanwhile, number of registered voters has increased, ascending from 68.8 million in 2015 to 84.0 million in 2019 and 93.5 million in 2023. As we speak, should the new INEC chairman be worried about voter turnout come 2027?
Nigerians must be worried. The National Assembly must be worried. And the government themselves must be worried.
If the people fail to come out to vote, who benefits more?
It is not about... It happens everywhere in the world. I tell you.
What I'm saying, if people fail to come out to vote, who benefits more from this?
It is not about people, whatever people does. If millions come out, somebody is going to win. If 2 people comes out, somebody is going to win. And that is how it always been for a very long time. I would give you an example. The first mayor of London, Ken Livingstone, when you have about 5 million registered voters in a place like London, and you see less than 200,000 people that came out to vote for Ken Livingstone. And when he won, he introduced a lot of reform that changed the face of London. It is everywhere in the world. But what we are now saying is that what makes people to be inconvenient, our electoral system must be done in a way that is going to help people to vote easily. People don't want to suffer to do anything. If you can come to the comfort of their home and make them to vote, they wouldn't mind. When people go on the field and they cannot vote for the next 4 or 5 hours, what do you expect? They will just sit down in their home. They say, are they collecting money? So when you are talking about the apathy, is the cumbersome time nature during the election that people fears. They don't want to suffer. They believe whether they vote or not, it is not going to do anything today. It is the people that we need to encourage for them to vote. That is why you see some politicians introducing money. So when people knew that they are coming and they are going to get 2,000, 3,000, they will come out. By all means. It's unfortunate, it's not right, but people still do it. So it was the cumbersome nature during the time of election that people fear. It's not that they don't want to come.
All right. Professor Ataru Jega's era was widely praised and during 2015's general election, especially for the smooth transition and the credible transition in that area. Now, while Yakubu Steno, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu Steno, was criticized for the 2023 general polls, what lessons do you think the new INEC chairman, Professor Amukito, should learn from all of this going into the 2027 general elections?
I don't think because of the way Ahmed Jega conducted election, that is why people are praising. I think it was because of the nature, because of what transpired, what kind of nuisance some people created during the time.
You're talking about Orubebe.
Orubebe. That is why it was given a worldwide acknowledgement, and people can be able to see that our electoral system is going, way better. And you are seeing the sitting president being defeated. It's one of the things as well, because of the things that have been introduced. But the so-called Mahmoud has been in the shadow for a very long time, and people that benefited from the past, they are making a mole out of the they make mountain out of the molehill. That is why a lot of things has been criticized about this gone INEC chairman. He has done his bit, and he has introduced a lot of things that we never expected, and we must give him a kudos. And the coming one is the one that we are the institution. We are the one that is going to introduce what it is better for our democratic system. It is not only them. So a lot of elections were overturned during the time of Ataru Jemga. A lot of elections are overturned as well. So that is what you have to know. So with this, I think we are going forward in Nigeria, and we are getting better.
Many believe that technology under Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, like the Beavers, IREV, they were things that should have happened but poorly executed. Are you of the same school of thought?
I don't. We saw what happened. Let's give a sample of Osho State. The time when the election supposed to be closed, that is what it was. That wasn't the time it was closed. And you have never seen APC making a mountain out of the molehill.
People were still at the voting units.
People are doing what?
They were still voting at the polling
which
units.
Is wrong. And it was the Supreme Court that overturned it. The election should have been cancelled. Where there were overvoting, it doesn't suppose, according to our electoral law, it's supposed to be cancelled. Still, it was given to the PDP. And APC never make nothing out of the molehill. But you see people that benefited from electoral fraud are the one that is criticizing the system. They never expected this president to win an election, and he won. He lost at his own side. Nobody talks about that. They never say that the kind of election that took up in Lagos is not well executed and it is not well conducted. That is for you to know that people who benefited from electoral fraud, they were the most who criticized a lot. Mohamed Yakub has done his bit, and we must be able to mount on that and make sure that we have good electoral system in Nigeria.
Okay, with general elections fast approaching, what are the priorities Professor Amukuto should be focusing on as we speak? He just resumed office.
He cannot do it in isolation. He must consult all the political parties before he make a lot.
So his first point of approach should be consultation.
What I really want him to do is that he must make sure that he liaises with National Assembly and do electoral reform. Everything must start from the political party. Any political party that doesn't do primary their candidates must be thrown out. Some people enjoy when they are the sole candidate. They don't want to suffer. They don't want to fight for a particular seat before they can be elected. So I think our focus should be on the internal democracy of all political parties, which is so faulty at the moment. That is what we must talk about. When we have those good electoral process in different political parties, you are talking about internal democracy, we are good to go in Nigeria.
Aside from the 1993 general elections, which some people claimed the winner was as clear as daylight in some quarters, Nigerians are still grappling with ineffectiveness when it comes to elections in the country. Do you think Nigeria is already on the path to a time where electoral results will be widely accepted?
With our notion, with our beliefs, we have that. The kind of trust problem in Nigeria, and it is going to be difficult for Nigerians to be able to trust even themselves when you are talking about election. They are still going to be complaining, but it's about fact. It's not about being sentiment or the notion we believe in. It's about the fact on the table. See, when the president administration, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, was taken to court, the court expected the party to prove its own cases. They must present evidence. They cannot be able to present evidence. All they were just doing is make you and cry and be able to take the Supreme Court to people's what's it called, to people's trial, and that is what they do. Every election can be challenged. We just have to prove our fact. I believe, because I have witnessed a different election where I've been driven out by cutlasses. They will not be, when they know that that polling unit is not favoring them. The opposition, not the opposition, the present government, they are going to send some people who are going to give them information, and they are going to make sure that those kind of polling units were being destroyed. And for you to know that we are growing. Anywhere there is trackers, they are going to make sure that they cancel that election. And when the result that was being presented cannot be able to be more than enough, or the one that has been cancelled, they will do that election again. For you to know that they are using what has happened in the past to be able to correct what is going to happen in the future.
Now, how do you think INEC should handle communication and trust, especially when it comes to the election, going forward to instill a level of to curb misinformation and restore engagement during the election?
Misinformation is being debated upon, and law is coming out right now. If you do any false information, you must be penalized. It is well entrenched in the constitution that even all the media houses have the right to be able to disseminate information truthfully, even if it's going to hurt the government. But for anybody to be able to be disseminating information that is going to harm the government, that is not true, injurious, must be penalized. That is what they are going to do. It is not the way we are going to believe in the fallacy of the before that there is free information. Free information, it is not the right to do something that is going to be contrary to the constitution of Nigeria.
Lastly, if you were to give Professor Amopitan an advice this morning, what would that be?
Professor Amopitan must be able to work in synergy with all the political party, and again, he must liaise himself with National Assembly members to be able to fortify our electoral system, most especially when you are talking about the political party internal democracy must be the first priority that they need to change. This has to be direct. Direct primary is what is being done in the United States of America, and we expected it to be introduced in Nigeria as well. So with this, I think you are going to see the dynamics of our electoral system if this is brought forth.
Honorable Mola Jolayo, thank you for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you for having me.
It has been a wonderful session with you. Hope to have you some other time.
I'm looking forward.
Right. As the nation looks ahead to future elections, expectations are high and patience is thin. Professor Amopitan steps into an office that has tested reputations and defined legacies. Will he be remembered as the reformer who restored faith in the ballot, or as another custodian of the status quo? Time, as always, will tell. You have been watching The Big Story. I am Samson Balogun. Join us next time as we continue to examine the forces shaping our democracy, one story at a time. Let's go on a quick break. The show continues. Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice. All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live, right here on Dominion Television. Of course, today is Monday. Do well to link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast. Watch us live, drop your comments, and click on the notification button. Also, do well to subscribe. All right, let's go to Trend Watch this morning. Stay with me in the studio. Oluwayemi Adelaku.
I never left. Okay, I'm glad to be back here. This morning, let's talk about this headline that says, Tinubu's pardon of drug lords, kidnappers, sea pirates, illegal miners and murderers, is trying to encourage, criminals or criminality in a sense. And that's coming from Atiku, the former vice president. And of course, let's read through the stories before we take comment and allow you to speak on the matter. So I have the story here, and then it's saying Bola Tinubu, the president, on Thursday granted clemency to 175 convicts and former convicts, including notable figures such as the late Major General Maman Vatsa, Major Kubo, Professor Magaji Gaba, Mayam Sanda, Ken Sarawiwa, and other members of the Ogoni 8. So let's take what Atiku said. Reacting to this, Atiku condemned the inclusion of such offenders, arguing that it undermines public confidence in the criminal justice system and, in his words, embodies criminality. He maintained that the exercise of clemency should never serve as an accomplice to crime or erode the foundations of justice. And of course, a lot of Nigerians are also saying most of this pardon, for the people, most of them have died. So what's the essence of this pardon, even when those people are not living again? But a lot of persons are saying, okay, maybe the families will be happy to say, okay, the grandfather have been cleared and the likes. And then speaking about this old criminal or maybe the drug lords, if you check the list, you see ex-convicts that were pardoned, drug traffickers, and people are saying, will it not reduce the effectiveness of NDLEA to say that, okay, at the end of the day, even if we catch these people and you try to make them face the law, they must still get the pardon from the president. What do you make of all of this feeling?
You see, it's just about opinion. For me, I think clemency is being carried out all over the world. It is not limited to Nigeria. It's not a Nigerian thing. And this will not be the first time to be done in Nigeria, not just President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I think under President Goodluck Jonathan, it's also happened. Late former President Umar Musa Yar'Adua too did the same. I think almost all the presidents have done that. Now let's come back to state level. One thing that is common is that for every Independence Day, governors do look for, what do we do on this day? So some people are granted clemency at the state level too. So this is not limited to the federal government. Now, you might have concerns about if some of these are related to serious offenses, probably trafficking, drug trafficking, and sometimes kidnapping and the likes. Yes, there is no bigger crime than all of that. But the truth of the matter is, most of these people are even late. One of the things this does for the family is that some family members, they are probably being haunted by what happened by their grandfathers, and then
they can't contest elections.
They can't contest elections. They can't even use those names. Some of them have decided to change their names. What this brings back to the family is you can now wear or carry that name with pride. Say, we have been granted clemency. But then it still does not erase whatever it is that person did in the past. Just that, there is clemency now. So I feel it's about opinion. It's about what you think about it. But for me, I think it is, these things do happen often. And this is not the first time. The only thing you can say is, who are these people? How connected are they to the president? How connected are they to people who are close to the president? Then you can begin to build a case from there. But as it stands, most of them are not even, they are not related to him. They are not, his cronies. They are just people who have been convicted in times past. And if you talk about what it means for the NDLEA, especially to all security agencies and in the country, I don't think it affects them. What it just does is that, at a point, people might feel discouraged about all of this, especially people who are in that particular agency. We have arrested a person and then the president grants clemency. The truth is, what is the time frame? Some of these cases are even over 30, 40 years. Some of them are over 20 years. So some of them are even probably after they have they are done with their sentences, and they are already out, they passed away, and then clemency is being granted. So I don't think it's in any way eroded what it is the NDLEA is doing. I just feel the president, out of his magnanimity, decided to do this to the people who are even long gone. Yeah,
just like you mentioned, I think you're spot on. Even state governors also do this to pardon people. But then, because a lot of persons are very... they're angry about a lot of things, that has to do with the president and the APC. So any little thing now, it
becomes a topic.
Bring up a lot of things to
and say. And of course, where it's coming from, Atiku Abubakar, who actually belongs in the opposition party. So you do not expect less than that. That's why we say, practice true opposition in the country. When it's time to talk. be constructive about your criticism. It's not just about attack. Don't just attack. When you attack, it is as good as you are not doing anything, because they might just ignore you. We have seen situations where someone says something and the presidency kept mum about it and they did not reply because they felt, oh, it does not affect them in any way. It's just you doing your thing. But if it is constructive and they know that other people will also reason along the same line, you will see them come out and say some things about it.
Definitely. And I think apart from Atiku, even ADC came out to say, okay, this is not too good for the country. It's an abuse of the rule of law. Dino Melai, I also read a story where he said, okay, why would the president do that? I mean, drug traffickers, give them pardon or grant them pardon. This will encourage a lot of other persons who are willing to venture into that area. So at the end of the day, I just want to hope that this will not serve as a loophole for people who are already planning to venture into drug trafficking, to say, okay, maybe at the end of the day, I might find a way to get myself out of all of this. At the end of the day, I don't want us to misuse this opportunity. Really, if the president had granted those people pardon, then let it be like that, because I don't think it can be reversed at this point in time. It has been done, and it has been done.
Now, let's take some comments
before we leave this morning.
All right, there is Obioma Woko say about Macaulay was pardoned, and there were innocent people languishing in prison yard. So many have been awaiting trials for 2 years and beyond. Yes. Hooray, let's clap for the president. He has freed drug barons and deadly criminals. Congratulations to Nigeria. I mean, people always have
talk and complain.
About it,
and of course, and another comment, yes, from Canary. When would Tinubu ever have a live press interview? Could it happen in our lifetime that Tinubu answers questions from the press? Who did this to Nigeria? A lot of people are actually expecting the president to grant an interview.
Live,
like a media parley, the one we can always do maybe with some media outlet in Nigeria to say, okay, we want to ask you some questions. I think it's going to be a good one. Let's never say never. It can happen at any time.
It can happen.
Definitely.
All right. So, I think Ade says, where is the rule of law
in Nigeria? That's a question that we keep answering every single day. The final headline this morning, I said headline, the final comments this morning is coming from Niche Dad, and they're saying that, what about Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu that is still in the custody? If the president can grant, amnesty or pardon to those people, what about Kanu? I think it's something that the federal government will look into. Well, it's a fine place to leave it this morning.
Maybe they are still doing that. Maybe it's in the pipeline. You can never say never.
Definitely.
Right, it's just like you said, this will be a fine place to leave it on the show this morning. So thank you for linking up with us all through the show. Do well to stay tuned to Dominion Television. There is a lot we have in stock for you today. Until tomorrow, when we shall be meeting you again on this same dial, same station, most definitely same host. Samson Balogun is mine. I say keep being good, keep being safe out there. Bye for now.
My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. Thank you for being a part of the show. Do well to join us tomorrow. Be intentional about your goals and put in the work. Bye.